Oh, my phone. Hello. Welcome to another edition of the Boob. We are excited to be here with you tonight. Dominique and I have been reading through your questions, and we are excited to talk everything kind. So quickly, before we get started on the questions, we did have a few questions about the actual kind system today. So I just want to give a quick rundown of that and remind you guys about the free starter pack offer that you can get, which comes with everything you need to try out the kind system as well as some coupons. So inside of the starter pack, you're going to get the adapter that you'll need to hook onto your pump. So the starter pack comes with a standard size adapter, which is like this one, and also a wide mouth adapter. So whether your pump is like, say, Medela or Ardo, Amita with a smaller neck, or a Spectra, Baby Buddha, something with a wider neck, you'll get both of the adapters that you need. And it just screws right on where you would screw on the bottle. And the pouch screws on the bottom. And when you're done pumping, you just unscrew the pouch. From here, you could put a lid on it and store it, put the cap back on it and store it in the fridge or freezer, wherever you need. Or you can pop it into the twist squeeze bottle and then pop on one of our active latch nipples. Or if your baby has a nipple preference, you can use the adapters to use a different nipple. So you've got quite a few options there. The adapters that come in the starter pack or any of our kits for your pump are interchangeable as the nipple adapters. So there's not necessarily like two sets of adapters, just you just need the adapter that's compatible with the nipple or pump that you're using. And if you need help picking your adapter, you can put something in the comments here or always email us at support@kind.com or lc@kind.com, and we will help you pick your adapter. I think the questions that we had about the system, aside from how it works, is what are the benefits to it? So the fact that you don't have to transfer is the biggest benefit. So traditionally you would pump into a bottle, you may transfer that into a storage bag and then have to retransfer that into the bottle for feeding. With the twist system, you direct pump right into the pouch and then you store it and direct feed with it. So not having to transfer eliminates spills, any kind of thing like that. It can help with eliminating any contamination, spills. It's convenient. You don't have to wash anything but the nipple when you're done, or your pump parts, so it saves you some time as well. We had a question about our warmer, our cozy warmer. It is safe for breast milk. It heats like the CDC recommendations are, which is to heat breast milk slowly using something like circulating water. So traditionally you may have used like running water or something like that. But the Cozy Warmer has circulating water in there, gives you the convenience of a timer. And the pouches are single use only. That is the health and safety standards set for all breast milk storage bags. So they're not reusable for feeding. We do have some customers tell us they reuse them for non-feeding things, like they may make an ice pack out of them. Or some people use like the caps for their older kids for learning activities. If you visit our Instagram, then you can see some of the clever uses that people use non-feeding for their pouches. So that's just kind of a quick rundown. If you have any other questions about the system, please ask in the comments and we will get to you. But let's dive into our breastfeeding questions. So Dominique, this question says, is there hope to rid using a nipple shield when breastfeeding, or is this a problem with your nipples? Oh, looks like we lost Dominique for a second there. I'll jump in. So nipple shields can be a really great tool for learning. And there are many babies that only need them for a short time before they are able to wean off of the nipple shield or be able to breastfeed without it. Typically, it's not necessarily a problem with your nipples. It may be a problem with latch or your baby just learning to breastfeed. So it's really important to work with your lactation professional to wean off of your nipple shield. but it's not something that you'll likely have to use forever. So just work with your lactation consultant. If you don't have one or you need help finding one, you can always email Dominique at lc@kiinde.com, and she can give you some more tips that are tailored to your specific situation.
I think I'm back.
Yes, I can hear you now. Did you have anything to
Okay.
add, Dominique? I was just saying nipple shields are a good tool and likely not a forever thing, but to work with your lactation professional to
Yes.
wean off of it in the way that's best for your situation.
Yes, definitely. That I agree.
Sorry for the little technical difficulties there. Okay.
That's all right.
This question says, what is the most nutrient saving way to heat or warm refrigerated milk? So I just touched on this a little bit, but the current recommendation is um, to heat it slowly using like circulating water. You could use a faucet of warm water, a cup of warm milk, something like the Cozy Warmer. You just don't want anything that's like boiling water or the microwave that could get the milk too hot or cause hot spots
Right.
inside of the milk. Did you have anything to add to that, Dominique?
No, that's it. Just warming it too quickly, too fast, too hot denatures and kills the protein. So, something very slow, like the Cozy Warmer, is perfect.
Okay, this is a great question. I was excited to talk about this one. Do babies dream feed because they are truly hungry, or is it just a comfort thing?
It's both. They're hungry and they love their mama. They're two birds, one stone. Two birds, one
Right.
boob.
Yes. Right. I think, yeah, sometimes they may be hungry or thirsty, and sometimes they just maybe need some comfort. Who knows if they had a dream and they woke up, or they were kind of coming out of sleep and they just need some help getting
Yeah,
back to sleep. So it can absolutely happen for both reasons.
yeah. And it's great for your supply. So,
Yes. So this question we talked about a little bit. What are the benefits of using this system, the kind system, over others, and does the warmer harm the storage bags? So the benefits are that you're eliminating those transfer steps. You're just using the one pouch to pump, store, feed, and the warmer is perfectly safe for the pouches and your milk. This question from Hannah says, "What's the best way to bump up supply for twins?"
breast milk production is supply and demand. You have to increase the demand in order to get the supply. So if your supply is low and you have twins, first things first is nurse them more frequently and then add some pumping sessions after it. Some notorious reasons for low milk supply is, babies sleeping through the night because they're no longer waking in the night to nurse, relatives always wanting to feed your baby, so you're not putting them to the breast frequently, you're just giving them pumped breast milk, um, or just infrequent nursing in general. I know it's twins. Some people find it easier to bottle feed twins instead of nursing them. So if you're cutting off that contact at the breast, then you're cutting off that demand and your supply will go down accordingly. So the first line of defense is to make sure that you're stimulating your breast fully. Your breasts expect to be stimulated at least 8 to 12 times in 24 hours. So start there. Are you only stimulating your breast 6 times? Then you need to add more pumping sessions, add more nursing sessions, and your supply should boost from there. If it's something super specific, I would just say email Elsie at kind.com, and then I can go over your specific situation and see if there's anything that I could offer. But in general, if you want more milk, you have to put more demand on your body.
Yep. It seems, it sounds so simple to say, and it really is a simple process, but sometimes it feels daunting.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
question from Casey says, "What is a good and safe way for moms to dry up their milk without getting mastitis?" I always
Ooh,
say take it as slow as you can.
that's
So
right.
if you're weaning your baby from feeding at the breast, or you're weaning from pumping, start, shortening sessions, take out one session at a time, see how your body responds to that and kind of adjust accordingly. You may need to do some hand expression as you start to stretch those feedings, but unless you absolutely have to for some reasons, occasionally we do have those rare cases where it has to be a cold turkey kind of thing. Going flow is the best prevention for not getting clogged ducts and mastitis.
Right. They also make teas. They're not super effective, but they can be helpful in getting you comfortable. That help to dry up your milk as well. So those are some things that you can try too, but slow is always better.
Yes. This question from Katie says, how do I get my supply back after a bad ear infection? So Katie, I think correct us if we're wrong in the comments, but we're going to assume your baby was the one with the ear infection and maybe was on a little bit of a nursing strike or something like that. Sometimes when babies have ear infections, they don't want to lay down in the nursing position because it can put pressure on that already inflamed eardrum. So my advice would be just nurse and pump as frequently as you can. If your baby
Right.
will go back to the breast now, just put them back as frequently as they will go. If not, if they're not willing, sometimes babies are like, I'm eating and I'm good. And so pump in between those sessions or whatever you need to do, just kind of to up that demand, like Dominique had talked about before.
Yes.
This question is this is a two-parter from Lisa. Any tips for nursing physicians for large-chested moms? And can you explain how milk is made? So Dominique, I'll take the first one if you take the second.
Yes.
One, okay.
I was gonna say, because I am not a large-chested mom.
So I clearly have some experience in the nursing with a large chest. For me, I found a cross cradle position to be most comfortable. And the reason for that was that I could support my breast with the opposite hand. So I could support my baby with this hand here. I am all about some kind of a nursing pillow to give your arm a rest, because holding a baby here gets really tiring. So you can use, we've got Boppies or Breast Friend, or there's you can choose from many. But a nursing pillow is probably my biggest suggestion if you do have a large chest, because it just takes some of that pressure off of your hands so that you can use them to kind of manipulate as you need. I was able to use the other hand to support my breast in the cross cradle. A lot of moms will use a rolled up wash towel, like washcloth or wash rag burp cloth, to put under the breast to give it a little bit of boost. And it didn't work so well for my babies just because they didn't like the position, but the football hold, which is a side hold here, is another good one, because then your breast is just out of the way, right? So you're not having that problem. So I would say, for me personally, really there's no wrong way to nurse. You find what's comfortable. But for me, having the support of that nursing pillow and then being able to use my arm in either a cross cradle or a football hold was the most comfortable, until my babies got a little bit bigger, and then they just chose what our position was.
That's right. They do whatever they
So
want.
Dominique, I'll let you take talking about how breast milk is made.
All right, so because this is a 30-minute show, real short and simple, breast milk is made from your blood. Your body takes your blood, and there's a bunch of synapses and things that happen and processes it, and it becomes your milk. If you're referring to like letdown, how does that happen? There is a process of hormones triggering other hormones that trigger other hormones. That encourages your body to release the milk for the baby. But as far as the actual production, it is made from your blood. And your body pulls the necessary minerals and vitamins and proteins and all that stuff. And your immune system donates some things too for your baby. And then that all gets processed to breast milk, in which your baby will nurse. If you want to know the full boring process of how your body makes it, there is a website called kellymom.com. And you can literally put in the Google Kelly Mom, how milk is made, and it should be the first link, and you can click it. And it's like 2 pages worth of stuff if you really want to read like the science behind it. But short, simple, it's made from your blood.
Yes, and aren't our bodies incredible that they
Yes.
can take, something like that and turn it into milk? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll link in the comments some resources of that. We have some on Kind EDU, our blog post as well. So I will
Awesome.
link some of those things. This question from Felicia says, is it okay to eat more than 2 to 3 servings of fish a week while breastfeeding? So I think the concern here would maybe be mercury.
If you're
Well,
eating fish that don't have high concentration of mercury, I think you're fine. But honestly, I think you're fine in general. Like if you're eating like I think it's the fish that eat other fish where you don't want to eat a lot of that in general. But if you're just eating the feeder fish, then I think you're okay. There's lots of cultures that their diet is high and stuff like that, and I mean, I feel like their babies do okay. So I feel like the American diet, which is terrible, would be okay with more than two to
well,
three servings of fish a week.
yeah, and you can touch base with your doctor on that as well. I think
Yes,
it's a bigger concern while you're pregnant than when you're breastfeeding. So if
yes.
that's kind of what your concern is, then know that. This question from Stephanie says, how do you know which flow nipple to use or when to switch it?
You always want to use a slow flow nipple, and you never want to switch it.
Yes. So you want to use
uh,
the slowest flow that your baby will tolerate, which
that's right.
typically is the slow flow nipple. Um, because your breast flow is never, it doesn't change. It
That's
doesn't
right.
speed up as baby gets older. So where Dominique's
Anything is fast in
recommendation
the
there,
beginning, and your baby has to get used to
yeah,
it.
yes. But sometimes if you introduce a faster flow nipple that's faster than the breast flow, then baby can get frustrated going back and forth. They'll learn to expect that faster flow, which the breast will likely never do. If your
Right.
baby is frequently collapsing a nipple, or something like that, then you may consider trying a faster nipple, but just watch very carefully to see how your baby responds going back and forth. This question from Michelle says, how do I prevent biting when feeding my teething 6-month-old with 2 teeth?
Put them in timeout. I'm kidding. Don't put your baby in timeout. They don't understand it. The best advice that I could give a mom with a biting baby is to kind of take that latch back to basics. They can't bite if their tongue is out and down like it needs to be when they are actively breastfeeding. If their tongue is not out and down, then break the latch and take the baby off the breast. If the baby gets fussy and I want to eat, then put them back on the breast. Remember, nose to nipple. Make sure they open up nice and wide, tongue down, and put them back on the breast. One thing that helped me with my middle girl was when I used to hold her, I used to let her butt kind of hang off of my lap. So not dragging the ground, but just kind of weighted down so that her head was always like this. And she can't bite me if she's always like this because her tongue's in the way and she ain't going to bite her tongue. Babies are smart. So that may be helpful as well. But the biggest thing too is getting to the root of the cause of the biting. What is happening in this baby's life that the breastfeeding is causing biting? Is the flow too fast? Is the flow too slow? Am I teething? You may want to try a different position that doesn't cause so much pressure that they have to bite down in order to relieve it. Maybe you need to give them like a warm or a cold washcloth to chew on before they feed so that their gums are in a more comfortable space or place. And then when you put them to breast, they're not going to be so anxious to bite. Are they overly sleepy or overly anxious or overly distracted when they're coming to the breast? You may need to kind of find different places to nurse them or bring a toy to the nursing session so that they're distracted by it and not necessarily trying to play baby piranha on your nipples.
Yes. And my second was a frequent biter, and fairly quickly learned that I could feel when her jaw changed. So
Yeah.
sometimes I wasn't always paying attention, like, because you're on your phone, you're watching a show, whatever, and those are all perfectly fine things. But once she bit me, like for like what felt like the 100th time, I started to pay really close attention, and I could feel that jaw shift, and I could often break the latch before she had the chance to bite. For her, it was often when she was done. It was just like, okay, I'm done. Let me just like,
Yep.
I don't know, do this. So,
Let me let
so
you know that I'm done. Chomp.
yeah, yeah. But she was just exploring her new teeth. I don't know, but
Yeah.
if you pay close attention, you can often start to feel that shift in the jaw. So I think we have time for one more question, and then we will pull our winners. This question is from Amber. It says, headaches from breastfeeding. Is there a way to prevent them?
We actually did a piece on this, um, and from the desk of the IB. No, was it the desk of the IBCLC or was it a trivia question? I
Oh, we did the
maybe.
nausea one. Was it with
Yeah,
that?
but I think yes, but headaches was included in that.
Yes.
Um,
I will pull that in the comments for everybody.
Okay, good. So that because it has headaches and it has like treatment and prevention because it's associated with your letdown. So obviously talk to your doctor, your lactation professional. But coming to the feeding session well hydrated with snacks on board. You can take some ibuprofen. So if you know ibuprofen takes at least 30 minutes to work. So if you know a baby's due to eat at 5, take it at like 4:30 or a little bit sooner so that it's working. So when that oxytocin releases and causes the headache, it won't be so bad or none at all. But the biggest thing is making sure that your glucose is high. So eating and not being dehydrated, because being dehydrated can cause headaches too once that oxytocin starts flowing with the milk release. And it usually goes away. Like at 6 to 8 weeks postpartum for most mothers. But if you're further along than that and you're still having the headaches, that can be normal as well. But if they are debilitating, talk to your OB, talk to your lactation professional because there are other meds they can put you on that are okay to take while breastfeeding, but they need to talk to you about that in your specific situation. But it's normal. It's normal,
Yes, it
unfortunately.
can be normal. And sometimes those hormones um,
Yes.
can really get out of whack. So just make sure that I had a little like basket I got at the dollar store that I kept like some granola bars and Slim Jims
Yes.
and whatever else in that didn't need to be refrigerated. That it always just was like a reminder when I was
Yes.
sitting on the couch to feed my baby to drink a bottle of water and to have a little snack.
We
So
called
something
it
like that.
our nursing corner. It literally had magazines, it had toys for the kids, it had snacks, it had water bottles, and the remote.
Yes, definitely the remote. So just before we draw our winners, just want to say again, thank you so much for being here with us tonight and for always for your continued support. We love these conversations that we're able to have. We've said it a few times during the show, but if you have any questions that are really specific or you just want to chat with a lactation professional, send us an email to lc@kiinde.com and Dominique will take good care of you. If you have any kind related, like product related questions or anything like that, support@kiinde.com is the place to go. And also don't forget about Kind Community. Kind Community is our peer support group that's lactation professional led. Myself and Dominique and Lauren are in there answering questions and making sure that that everything is going smoothly. The conversations that happen in there between the parents are really, really awesome. I'm always really just my heart is warmed by the support that I see in there. So if you're not
And
already part of
everyone's
Kind Community,
always nice.
yes, it's a really nice judgment-free group.
Yes.
So be sure to join that. And we also consider Kind Community part of our little family, and sometimes there's exclusive things going in there too. So just another reason you might want to join if you want to know a little bit more about Kind. So tonight we are giving away one of our pump bags. You may have seen the new pump bag floating around. We're really excited about it. We're getting some awesome reviews of it. And the winner of our pump bag this evening is Cheyenne Pagel. So Cheyenne, send
Yay,
us a
congrats.
message or email to support@kiinde.com in the next day or so, and we will get your information so we can get that pump bag sent out to you. And please continue the conversation in the comments. If you have any questions that we weren't able to cover today, let us know. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.